Namaste and welcome everyone. Wednesday, overcast. How are you guys doing? How is the weather and how is everyone? Hope you all doing great. I'm doing a joint live today, guys, with Trido. You all know him. And also, Stephen, he's going to join us briefly. So let me see. Trido, can you send me a request?
Sure.
See if I can get Trido here. Not yet. Okay, Trido is connecting with us and he'll be here shortly. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Welcome, everyone. There we go. I see Trido. He's so good. I mean, I am surprised. A monk who could be so good with social medias and everything. Okay, let me get Trido here. Good day, Trido.
Yes.
Love to see you. Okay, guys. So today topic is how to shift. We're talking about money today, right? We are talking about money, and don't you think we should get Trido's opinion about how to make money? What is the issue? Why are we not making money? And so on and so forth. So we're going to give him a few seconds. And Trido, you might want to change yes, now I can see you face. Maybe you have to change your phone so we can have. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, try to be getting sound is coming back, so you gotta turn off your. There we go. Your laptop. You did it. Yes, we finally figuring out this system, guys. Okay, so let's see, guys. Let's see what Trido has to say about whether you guys are all blocked. If prosperity, wealth is our birthright, what is the problem then? Why aren't we all human beings are experiencing lots of money and whatever we put our hands on turns into gold? What is it that some people they can just do anything and money just flows in their life? And why is it that some of us are working so hard, trying so many different things, and things are not going our way? Is it luck, do you think? Is it because some people come with good luck or bad luck? Or is it because I am starting my human design webinar this upcoming Sunday? I'm going to teach you guys all about human design and the codings in our DNA and neutrons, trillions of neutrons that are placed in our DNA. Is it because of that? Did we come up here on planet with wrong DNA, or what is it? So tell me, Trido, what do you think it is?
So today we're talking about
We can't hear you,
money.
Lovey.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Let's see. We cannot hear you.
so you can hear me on both.
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you. Okay.
I gotta leave this probably over here because if the Instagram is too close to,
Okay. Trido, I think what you need to do is to turn off your other device where you're joining me from on YouTube. If you turn that off, then we can hear each other only from one mic.
Oh, okay. So it's good now?
No, we're getting an echo.
It's funny when I move this phone. It only does it when I move the Instagram.
So try though, what we can do if you're having an issue, maybe you can just join me from Instagram, not on YouTube. What do you think? Or would you want to be on YouTube?
Well, I don't mind. I just want this thing to resolve itself.
Okay.
Somehow resolve itself.
Sora, I turn off my mic. Is that okay? I mean, my,
I've actually turned off the mic on the YouTube.
yeah, that's what you should do. You have done it?
Yeah, on the link that you sent me.
Okay, so turn off.
You know, it, we could hear him.
Mr. Toledo, please just mute everything from the laptop.
Mute everything from laptop. Okay, people, we are having some technical issues. I think I gave way too much credit to Trido and I jinxed him somehow. So we're figuring it out. And yes, all right. Let's see if Trido, in the meantime, while he's going to speak, I want to
Can
know where
you
you guys are
can you
joining us from.
can you hear
Say
me
where you are
fine?
from and where do you live, and welcome, Levi, welcome.
Technical.
Okay, can I get some help from the technical part, Sarah? Can you figure out, can we move on a little bit quickly? What should we do?
1 2 1 2
Trido,
1 2.
I can hear you. Trido, leave from YouTube. Let's just go on Instagram.
Oh, okay. So
Get out of YouTube. Yeah, let's just do Instagram. Good, good, good.
okay.
Oklahoma, welcome, welcome, Levi.
Okay, so I'm.
There we go. Now we're good. Here we go. Now we're good. Okay. Fantastic. So, are you ready, Trido, to dive into our topic? How do we shift if we feel like financially we are blocked, money is not circulating easily and is not flowing through our lives? Where do you think we should start?
Well, so I once had my own business in retail, and I employed about 30 people through the course of 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, and of course I've worked with other business owners also too, wholesale and retail and all of that. The one thing I've noticed in my life about the success of people and how money flows in all types of work and occupation, law, medicine, retail, private entity, public entity, and nonprofit entity, is the blockage lies in the self-centeredness. And it goes into the details of me, my, and I.
Uh-huh.
The people become, the funny thing about money and the accumulation of wealth is that people become like this one pointed concentration on just the money and not the people. They chose profit over people versus people over profit. Now, mind you all, I've worked in the fields of law and medicine for 18 years in clinical settings. And it's funny, I've worked for doctors that is all about money. And literally, they treat patients. It's appalling the way how I've seen how they treat patients. And somewhere down the line, they've gotten so mixed up with money and their goals, the self-centered goals, that they actually believed the patients don't pick up the small cues and clues that this doctor basically does not care. So, I've got to be on the staff side. I also got to be the patient side and client and customer. And I've noticed elsewhere where people don't focus on the quality relationship establishment of care, interaction, taking the time to explain. Because we know that if they like you, then they will buy whatever it is behind you. So, in medicine, that's what they need is medicine. And eventually, if they don't like you, they just move on to another doctor. In products, it depends on what kind of product it is, how useful it is. Depends on whether the salesman actually believe in that product, that it would be beneficial for humans.
Mm-hmm.
If we incorporate right livelihood and right speech, or we take elements of right speech, which is it true, is it necessary, is it beneficial, and is the timing of such product is right for consumers, clients, or patients at this time, then you start narrowing down the science of wealth, the science of bringing in money. When you are self-centered in your endeavors, people will see it. People will pick it up. People have intuitions. People have a very different consumer third eye that you don't know about. We all have a consumer third eye. It's the same way we feel when we walk into the mall. The settings of a mall, the whatever marble atmospheres, and if it's not genuine, consumers can pick it up that it is not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
This person wants my money. This person does not really care about me. Is not honest about certain things. My novice monk that I'm training, we had to go back to work in order to keep our programs going, life-saving programs going. So Sam, Namaste, aka Sam, also he's shadowing with me as I am working as an interpreter out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Come across this case where it's skincare product, which a lady tried on skincare and it looked like Ebola on her hand. It literally looked like Ebola when she gave me the picture email, and then she wants to sue. And I said, well, before you sue, let me go have a talk with the owner of the store and see what happened and try to construct what happened here. You left your state, you come down here on vacation, you walked into this place, you tried some skincare product, you came home with, something that looked like Ebola that requires all sorts of topical treatments and antibiotics for 2 weeks for it to resolve. Now you want to sue for X amount of money. So when I went into it's not impressive when I made the phone call and they're like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "That's rude." I'm going to tie all this together so everyone understands the science of making money and the true science of, honesty and right livelihood and right speech, right effort in the Noble Eightfold Path. The applications of the Noble Eightfold Path into modern day, everyone's got bills. They all want to make money. They all got to pay. You got to make a living. Just got to make an honest living. So I was just being me. I didn't even identify myself yet. Who are you? I'm like, I'm wondering, do you have a manager there? Who are you? Does your manager have a name? Because I like to stop by at 6 p.m. and they go around in circles and they're like, let me check who's working. But that's not the question. The question is, what is your manager's name? Okay. So when I worked at the courthouse, we have investigative techniques that we use to elicit the truth. We know how to get information because there's a purpose behind eliciting that truth. And so they beat around the bush, and then eventually I had to press. So it's not impressive. Namaste myself arrives there, and everything is obscured. It's a beauty place. The licensing for the esthetician is obscured, and I was trying to look at. Okay, I asked for the licensing in the store. They didn't want to give it to me. I display about what happened. I'm meeting a lot of resistance. So what is it? So, and I'm also asking about the skincare product. I said, can I take a look at that, please? So the gentleman brought out a tube without the ingredients, because we're obviously here investigating why this woman has this Ebola lesion on her hand. And so he tried to pull a slick one on me. Obviously, he tried to pull a slick one. And I'm glad that obviously was right behind me to watch all of this unfold. And then I had to ask, I'm like, I don't see any ingredients on here. So he brings out another box where I've never seen ingredients so small. I checked the website. We don't have a contact information. We check the science part of the company product, which is, what's the science behind this? Is it safe for consumer? Is it approved by certain dermatology board or associations or American Academy of Dermatologists? No, everything was just wrong. Everything was wrong from the beginning to the middle and towards the end. So I assume at this point that because they did not have protocols to protect consumers in asking certain questions, I mean, what does consumers know, right? If you're a provider, what does consumers know? They're in a place where they're having fun. You give them this cream, you don't know what they're allergic to. And then there comes the blame game. So when we have the mind, the motive, that it is people first above profit, to ensure consumer safety, to ensure the needs of the people, not just the want, but the needs of the people, then there you have trust, the building of trust, the sustaining of trust, the establishment and sustaining of trust in businesses. We have seen a lot of businesses go south. I mean, there's the Better Business Bureau. We got the Angie's List. We got all of these certifying private entities that says, yeah, you can't trust this plumber. This plumber is not going to do you wrong. You can trust this technician guy that's going to go in there and not tell you, yeah, you need a new AC, when in fact it just needs to be sanitized. So across the board in the consumer line, you see that we have issues with trust. We have issues of greed, which is the first thing that the Buddha told us, that all humans have greed, have anger, and have ignorance of the Four Noble Truths. So I'm painting this picture of that when you want, it isn't appropriate and necessary for one, that I want to be successful. I want money so that I can take care of my family, so that I can take care of myself, the nourishment of one's body, health, body and mind. So therefore, what am I going to do for that money? What kind of business am I going to engage to get that money? And what kind of policies do I have in place for myself, for my employees, and for consumers? Had it not been for laws that has been enacted and in place, a lot of consumers would be in trouble. In the days of Jesus, people scammed each other. In the days of the Buddha, people scammed each other. In other days in 2023, we still have people scamming each other. So anyone that wants to engage in business with someone, by yourself, with a business partner, or anything else, you all have to be different than any other businessmen or women out there in the world. You all have to think that because of waking up with a motive, waking up with a true heart of compassion and understanding, and serving the needs of the people comes first. With that intention truly lies in one's heart, the cultivation of the heart, which is meditation, loving kindness meditation. eventually you become enlightened. Not in a sense of like, Buddha enlightenment, but you become a very particular and special and unique human being, a special and unique particular business owner that people can feel. Your energy introduces itself long before you introduce yourself to any of your clients or customers. And they can see through the BS. So trust me on this one.
So, Trido, what I'm hearing is that we should, number one, we should always come for people, for the goodness of others, instead of focusing on what's in it for me, what am I going to gain from this. I get that. I live by this principle that every time I did something, I start something, I never ever thought about the money aspect of it. It was just the juice, the thing that how is this going to help people? How is this going to? So that's number one. Number two, we got to watch out our greeds, guys, that we are not becoming too greedy. Kind of always think that even in a partnership, whether you're in a partnership in business or whatever, always think equally what's like giving and taking. When I wrote my book, Awakening Not Allowed, for myself, this is a personal thing that I'm coming to for myself. I realized that I was very good at giving, but I wasn't good at receiving. So at that moment, if I had an aha moment that, oh, I can give, give. But even sometimes someone wants to give me a little bit thing, I'm hesitate, I feel bad, and I'm just thinking that, oh my God, if this person is going to do this little thing for me, or this little favor, or do this little job, I have to come up with tenfold to give it back to this person. So that could be another block, guys. Keep that in mind that everything has to flow. You can be extremely giving, but you also have to be allowing for a lot to come back. Stephen, welcome. So, what's your thought on this?
Namaste. Thank you, Sudi. Namaste, Tredao. Good to see you again. Thank you. All right. What's my input on this? Well, I think that, yes, just like Tredao was mentioning, these are difficult times to be a merchant, to be honest with you. You know, there are a lot of challenges we have, especially economical. We have everything is rising in price and cost. Overhead is rising, and the prices of everything, the goods are rising when the profit is shrinking, and the merchants are being forced to do more with less. You know, and like you said, it's very difficult for a merchant to not want to cheat the customer, because they understand that this is an easy way to increase the profits, and obviously we all know this is unethical because it could lead to problems of all kinds, like Treda was mentioning, with the skin irritation, and maybe due to low quality product, whatever the case may be. You know, I've actually worked as a merchant for over a decade, and I have to say that I've learned quite a bit. I think anybody who works in this field, you know, would understand that no better advertising than word of mouth. I think that if you provide quality product and service to the customer, that although you may not see the big gains in the short term, if you are a long-term thinker and worry about the long term of your business, how you want to stay in business, remain in business as long as possible, and have more of the customers come to your storefront or your website to purchase your product. If I think it's important to focus on, perhaps maybe start at a specific specialty. You know, in my opinion, I think that if I think everyone really knows what they enjoy, and probably if they're selling a product or a service, something that they really like doing, or like selling, or like myself, I always had an idea of sometime in the future. Just, I love selling beautiful products, and nothing. I can't explain it. Just using my creativity to go out and find artists and things that you don't see everywhere, things that are unusual and hard to find, but yet really beautiful, one of a kind things. You know, that's me. So someone, I think that any merchant would do best to specialize in something versus being a general. I know many merchants, when they're in the business, they'll sell everything because they know they can be a one-stop shop and make up for the differences. And perhaps if all of us were to cultivate our creativity and just say, you know what, I like beauty products, like you were mentioning a moment ago, or I prefer to sell uh, jewelry or clothing, or you know, if you offer a service like IT support or something like this. I think that if the merchant were to focus on a specialty niche, especially if it's a niche product, something that it's not offered very everywhere by everyone. And I think that once again, as I may have talked in the last webinar, I think that if you're not sure about this or don't know what it is that you're really good at, because many of us do take our traits for granted, and we don't realize that we're really good at something. We just take it for granted and treat it like nothing. If you were to have an astrologer or yourself check your chart to see exactly where your Mercury is, because Mercury is the merchant, and see what aspects it's making to other planets to actually give clues into what can be sold by you, and of course where, what area, what field, the element, for example, perhaps something, it might be a liquid such as a perfume or a cream, you know, if you have Mercury in a water sign. Uh, you know, and of course, if you have to be a personable person, right? Salespeople have to obviously tell the customer what they want to hear, but yet if you have a product that's going to speak for itself, that's a win-win, you know, situation, I think. And now coming into a time where the economy may get a little challenging, I think that if we focus and fine-tune our strengths and be honest with our weaknesses. Perhaps there's a duty that you've been doing that perhaps would be better if you were to put in someone else's responsibility. And that way you can focus more on what you do best and not have to waste time, or, you know, perhaps maybe not right away, but gradually put this on a to-do list so that this can be something that eventually will get done when the funds are available for this. And you know, network with people. I think this is important too. Finding resources and people that you can actually perhaps help you with an aspect of what you do. And of course, just Trida was mentioning a moment ago, the ethics when it comes to sales. You know, trying to sell products that are not expired or overly toxic, let's just say, you know, or
And sorry
unfit.
to interrupt you, love. Just want to let you guys know that we have 15 minutes left from the live. So if we can move on a little bit quicker, but also I think we're looking for something more fundamental, like underneath. So the question is, when I'm thinking, why am I always blocked? Why can money just flow? So
Mhm.
could it be the energetic field that I'm in? Could it be that they say some people are born from the time of your birth? You either have a prosper consciousness or scarcity consciousness. We're looking for more fundamental, but if we can be brief and move on quicker, that would be great.
Thank
So,
you.
okay. So, what do you have anything to add here, Stephen?
Yes, I would. Two things. Thank you, Sudie, for clarifying that. Two things. So if you, we can all check our astrocartography, and perhaps maybe uh, the ability to find perhaps the location where you live may not be the strongest. So perhaps you can do some work, some business where you live, and focus perhaps some remote business, because we have the internet to allow that to be possible now. And for those of you who may be familiar with astrocartography, look to see where your Jupiter falls in the 10th house. These locations could expand your exposure to the maximum degree, and especially if it's intersecting a benefic planet. This could really make a difference, make or break difference in energy for your business. And as Sudie mentioned, when it comes to poverty mindset, this some people do suffer from this. I'll be honest with you. This is actually the Cancer constellation actually has to do with this. If you have planets in Cancer, especially your moon, this could really limit the amount how big you can grow, and you're going to need perhaps services such as Sudi's to actually help you climb out of this, because there's like a ceiling that you may bump up against. You may not see the big picture, what's really possible. You may be focused too much on the details, or not thinking big enough, because we have 8 billion people in the world, everyone, and everyone's buying every day. There are things that need to be purchased. So perhaps maybe if you feel like you're not thinking big enough, or you're at odds with coming up with ideas, speak to Sudi or someone perhaps that can help you expand that creativity, make you think outside the box, bring fresh ideas into your business, perhaps offering something, a service or product that you may not have thought about before. Perhaps you can consult an astrologer. I'll soon be available again for readings soon. And there are many ways. I think everyone that's a merchant is capable of expanding their income and their business, and perhaps they simply need to think outside the box and get outside opinion.
Thank you.
You're
Trido,
welcome.
what do you think? Do you think that we are born as human either with scarcity mindset or prosperous mindset?
I wanted to touch up on karma, actually, because there are a lot of causes and conditions. One can be born in a time where economic is booming, or one can born during times of economic depression. So let's talk about karma due to causes and conditions. We suffer if we're not making the money that we want, and we suffer financially is as a direct result of what we did in our past life, or in this life, a possibility of that. And one of the best way to improve your karma is to give more, take less. Give by body, speech, or mind. Body, speech, and mind. That means you dedicate, think kind things, think kind thoughts, and do nice things for people. And eventually it will fall into place. Something that I describe as karmic currencies. Karmic currencies. We Buddhist monks, or we Buddhists in general, practitioners, rely on the karmic currencies, because when actual real currency diminish and disappear, we rely on that emotional currencies for true source of happiness, joy, and freedom. The other thing I want to touch up on is that ignorance, and the existence of ignorance of not knowing the how to start up a business, not knowing how to run a business. Then one needs to choose a good, qualifying, authentic, experienced teacher, such as Sudi Burnett. Such as, and you all need to use your intelligence to gauge the things that people are teaching out there, whether it's good for you, whether you will grow from it, not just from an intellectual, academic standpoint, but spiritually advanced, in order to serve the people better and to serve the people more. With that, you improve your karma and intelligence and wisdom. You put all that together in your basket of a human accumulation of preparedness, and it is preparedness and luck that will make you flourish.
Good. I was when was it? Last week I was doing my live, and I was accepting requests from random people, and this guy said to me, he said, I used to make a lot of money. I was in construction, and it's the past few years I'm not making any money. And as we were going back and forth, and I was coaching him through it, I said, has it been the last few years that you start moving towards the spirituality becomes very interesting to you? And he said, yes, absolutely. I said, so would you say, like, what would you think that if you become spiritual, you have to let go of the material world? He said, yeah, absolutely. I said, so here we go. There are two things conflicting one another in your mind. In one way, you're thinking, I'm really interested to become enlightened, and I'm moving towards the spirituality, and the belief that is connected to being spiritual is that spiritual people don't ask for money, don't make a lot of money. That's greedy if you want money and have a lot of it. If that's the belief that's connected to your spirituality, then on the other hand, you're saying, oh, I'm trying to work and the construction business doesn't bring in any money. I said, this is two things conflicting one another in your brain. So what do you think about this, Stephen?
Yes, there is a just as Trudeau will start there. He mentioned I want to touch on that. Yeah, I think that the karma is very noticeable. The longer you stay in business, the more you'll see. You'll get feedback from your customers as to how you're performing eventually. Now, you're as far as the person you spoke with, Sudi. Yeah, there are energies throughout the life. Obviously, our purpose here in life is to evolve the soul. Evolve our consciousness. So we're here. We're born into the circumstances that we've earned from previous incarnations, and these are our collective karmas. So there will be cycles throughout everyone's life where business and income will prosper, and of course, there are times when they'll wane. So,
So,
so
but
um,
Stephen, I want to get an answer specifically about this. Do you think, do you think that if two different beliefs are happening in the same time and they're conflicting one another, that could be a major issues in why you're not becoming prosperous or achieving your goals?
I understand. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, I think when this happens to a person, it's time for a consultation because there's something happening in the background. Um, Perhaps the planetary period is changing for that person, and of course, the circumstances are going to change. Perhaps the business, something major happens to stop the business from functioning, forcing you to close or move or something like this. And these are energies that are actually changing in the background, and you may not be aware of them, but it's important to check the astrological chart to see the energies, the planetary cycles, the periods, the subperiods. See what's happening so that you're not caught by surprise. And having frequent readings is actually important, especially if you're a merchant. You want to maximize your time and your efficiency. I think that yeah, they're.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Stephen. Trido, I'm asking you, how effective is this if you have two different beliefs that are contradicting one another? Should you really take this seriously and say, oh, I have to take my time to really figure out what are these two different beliefs and then remove the one that is not serving me? Do you think this is important or not?
Not important. A lot of us hold rigid beliefs about. You got to understand spirituality. You got to understand certain standpoint of that philosophy you belong to. Look at the Buddha's discourse on wealth. He wants you to be wealthy, actually, and he gave instructions to save. How to treat your wife, how to buy her nice things, how to save for a rainy day. He gave instructions, in his 84,000 teachings. So, no, where it is of concern is when it's too extreme. And we've seen people kill, violate contracts, and, betray partners' trust when it gets too extreme of that greed. So in Buddhism, by following the Noble Eightfold Path, you readjust that to the middle way of practicing being a merchant, selling good products, and so on and so on. Furthermore, when we have these type of rigid beliefs, we also need to look at the details on how you are operating your business and how well you listen. Some people hold on to their old ways and their old days of practicing business, but they're not hearing their employees' recommendation, advice, or what needs to change. They're not hearing what the customer needs or wants because they're holding rigid beliefs and convictions. And that's what's affecting the outcome of the flow and the blockage of the flow of money that could potentially be coming in and coming in even more. So in spirituality, we teach you all to be flexible. Just chill. Just just have fun with it. You know, love what you do and do what you love. And as long as you're practicing right livelihood, which is not dealing in arms, which is guns, weapons, and poison, you know, human trafficking, sex trafficking, anything that of ethical and moral issues, then you're golden. And look at we have the how. We're teaching you all the how, the middle way, so that you don't, you know, lean on one side and then lose sleep over it, or like scratch your head the whole year not knowing what the truth is about the balance.
Thank you, Trido. Any last thought, guys? We gotta let you go. I'm having another live starting pretty soon. So thank you so much for joining us. Any last thought, Stephen, to add up?
Yes, please. Follow your intuition. Your higher self is communicating with you at all times. The more you listen to that inner voice, you will make better choices.
Thank you. And you, Trido?
Be curious, have a willingness to learn, a curiosity in new teachings, new endeavors with Sudi, with Stephen, with myself. Learn to unlearn so that you can update your software. All of you are now competing with AI, artificial intelligence. So you better act on it, because the problem is we didn't have time, said the Buddha. So again, take everything all of us have taken into consideration, reflect on it, and act quickly if you want money flowing into your pockets. May you all be well and always be wealthy.
Thank you so much, guys. Guys, those of you who are on Instagram, please do not forget, my followers, to follow Trido. He got a wealth of information to teach you guys. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you cannot follow Stephen, but he's going to be joining us weekly. Have a blessed day, and see you every Wednesday, sharp 9 a.m. Los Angeles time. Love and joy. Bye-bye.